My name is Krista Taylor. My dear friend and co-host is Kevin Duguay, and this is a very special episode of Real People, Real Results. We have another distribution partner, Heather Lemke, with us today, and two of her dear friends, Luc and Caroline. And Luc and Caroline are here to tell us their story. They're customers of Heather's, and they have a fantastic message that they want to share with you, and we were so grateful to them for reaching out and for us to be able to give them this opportunity to share their experience. So welcome, Heather. Welcome, Caroline and Luc. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you.
So Luc, why don't you start? Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you are in your life's journey right
now? Well, right now I'm presently going through chemo for bladder cancer. I was diagnosed with bladder cancer at the end of February. I was told that the cancer was contained to my bladder. So May 25th, I went under a 10-hour surgery. They removed my bladder and reconstructed a new bladder with parts of intestines.
Yeah.
And thinking that everything was all okay. They did a diagnose on the lymph nodes. They removed 17 lymph nodes at the same time as my 10-hour surgery. 3 lymph nodes were discovered cancerous, and the cancer is spreading to my pelvis. So we are now at the end of July. I'm about to start chemo. And of course, when you take chemo, you're on all sorts of medication. When I say medication, it's pills, and I am not a big fan of pills. So I was telling this to Heather, and she introduced me to these patches that would control, she told me it would control my nausea, anxiety, even keep me calm, and dizziness. So I tried it, and that's been since beginning of August, and I don't miss a beat. Every 48 hours, I go to my wife. It's time for my Heather patches. So they really work. I have pills at home for nausea and anxiety, and the jar is still full. I've never used it. Wow. I go to my chemo sessions, and mine has been getting some infections lately, minus the infections. Everybody tells me how great I look, that I don't even look like a sick guy with stage 4 cancer.
I would agree with them, for sure.
Mm-hmm. He's a believer now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Caroline, that's interesting that you say now. Why do you say now, Caroline?
When I was going through the breast cancer, I had biopsy and had the surgery, and I was doing radiation. I was getting vertigo. I couldn't even move my arms. I would get so dizzy. And Heather was at my house one night, and she put a patch on me, and I didn't even realize it. She said, "Carol, look at your arms." My arms were going, and I wasn't dizzy. And my husband kept saying, "Oh, that I don't know about those. I don't know about those." So when he started wearing them, it was like the sunshine came out. Yeah, he's a believer. Because I kept telling him, I'm not dizzy anymore. I was shocked. I was very shocked, you know.
She were hanging on to the, we were at her house, and she was hanging on to the counter. She was that dizzy that she could not stand without supporting herself, and she couldn't lift her arm at all. And I had to beg her to put that patch on her, and she kept saying, "Well, I don't know, I'm on so many meds and d." Anyway, we put the patch on her, and it wasn't, I'm going to say 20 minutes later, she's talking, and because Carol's French, she has to use her arms to speak, and her arms were going 100 miles an hour.
I never even noticed.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. And then Luc didn't have any reason to believe it at that point. So when we found out what he was dealing with, just from the nausea and stress that he was under. He started wearing a sleeve and started wearing the Neurovox patch together with the Harmony patch. And he's been amazed at the results he's getting.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, Luc, I'm listening to your story, and I just got this thought, and for the viewers, you know, one of the things we do in medicine, in the medical field, is trying to find out where somebody's at with their quality of life is on a scale of 1 to 10. And so, Luc, I'm going to ask you a question, and it's just a numbers game. So if you think of where your life was on a scale of 1 to 10 before VoxxLife, with 10 being 100% A-OK, everything's peaches and cream, or like being in Heather Patch, and now wearing the technology, what's happened with that number? Can you quantify like where you were numbers wise?
I would say, well, I was introduced to the patch relatively fairly fast as I started chemo.
Yeah.
But when I first started chemo, I was tired, again, dizziness, and didn't want to really do too much. And also after my surgery too, didn't really want to do too much, was pretty much a couch potato.
Yeah.
I would say about a 5.
Yeah.
And now with the patches, I'm going to say bring it up to 9, 10. I'm building additions to my garage. I'm
Okay. Can you say that louder again? Because all the women want to hear what you just said. Doing the D word. What was that? Did you say dishes?
I built an addition to my garage. I'm working on cars. This weather, I'm outside every day and enjoying life and enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not just waiting for anything. I'm just going ahead and moving forward.
And he's making me tired because I have to be out there with him.
I love that so much. I was just going to say, Caroline, how is this impacting your quality of life? It's your spouse, it's your, yeah.
It helped me so much. Like I'm telling you, the dizziness, like I couldn't move. I could not move even a finger. I was dizzy all the time and it was terrible. You know, like now it's only when I go to bed, when I lie down, I get that dizziness till I get into place comfortable, then the dizziness is gone. You know, but other than that, during the day and that, no dizziness.
And one thing that I'm going to ask you about, Caroline. I remember when Luc was first telling us that he was going to be undergoing treatments and the whole family was involved with the discussions. Yeah. I know that there was really harsh discussions with your family because they did not want Luc to undergo the chemo treatments because they didn't want to, they didn't want his quality of life, what do you call it, impacted by the chemo. They wanted him to enjoy his days. Yeah. So now we have to remind him that he's sick. Like it's, when we call him and he says, oh, and I'm worrying that I haven't seen him on Facebook for a while, so I'm hoping everything's going okay. So you call him, he says, no, I've just been busy. I'm helping so-and-so build a deck and I'm building a gazebo and I'm restoring a car that I bought. Luc, you are sick. Remember this.
Well, I'll have to tell him, you know, like he goes out there early in the morning, like 8 o'clock, and he doesn't come in till 8 o'clock at night. And I have to tell him, you know, like it's time to quit. So now I say, you can work one day, but you got to take the next day off, you know, like he just nonstop, you know, so they work for him.
You know, this is really, sorry, go ahead. 4 people jumped in at the same time. It's like tag. Exactly. Oh, you know, Luc and Caroline, what's interesting with this, with your stories is that, and this is something that we started to see with our journey in VoxxLife, right, was, you know, people are under care of somebody or some system, whatever, and that's great. And then we started seeing, I call it complementary medicine or complementary healthcare or complementary wellness, that often it's a recipe of adding and taking away sometimes different things, but at the end of the day, the proof in the pudding is when you go from a 4 or 5 out of 10 of quality of life to a 9 or 10, you're on the right direction. And that, at the end of the day, what we learned was it was always about the results. Welcome to the show, real people, real results. It's like, imagine being on a show and nobody got better. You're not going to last very long on the media. It's like, why would I watch this show? This is like, there's no inspiration here, man. Like, forget it. My plants are like that. I don't need that. So now it's like, no, my plants are like that. But what we saw was, imagine having this, and then adding, and then just like your story as a couple going, we have a different quality of life now. And, and as I shared with a lot of people in our medical field, is that it's a tool. Everything is a tool, just like you building an addition. I need a hammer. Well, here's a screwdriver. I don't need a screwdriver. I need a hammer. I need a nail. I need this. I need that. And it's all these tools that work together so you can build a gazebo or build an addition that is like really well made. And our bodies are no different. But it's again, it's a means to an end of moving forward. And then, hey, I built one, I'm going to go build another one. This is like so much fun. So it's a really cool story in regards to that symmetry of complementing each other with what everybody's trying to do at the end of the day is to help you and Caroline move forward in your health and wellness journey. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I swear by them, and now he does.
Yeah,
and
the Vox patches are, but like I says, if I go beyond my 48 hours, I feel that there's something missing on me. Put it that way.
Now, Luke, which patches do you wear?
I wear the blue and the pink patch.
So that
he's wearing the neuro patch and the harmony patch.
Oh.
And he also has a sleeve that he wears when he starts to get stressed or anxious. He's got a knee smarter sleeve that he wears for that.
And he wears his socks.
Yeah, and he has the wellness socks that he's been wearing as well.
Yeah.
He's teched out.
Teched out. I love that. So Luke, let's just take it away from your wellness journey for 1 second. Talk to me about when you're out working on your car, when you're building your additions. How is it? Do you feel any impact with your, the extra balance, the stability, the stamina that goes with that? That's a lot of work you're doing for anybody to be doing that kind of work. It would be a lot. So do you notice any impacts there versus what you would have been doing before? If you were doing the same kind of work? You're a busy guy, right? You've worked like
I used to be a site superintendent for a huge construction company. So I basically handle at one point on my last project over 300 guys, different trades. So I was a busybody from 6 in the morning till 4 or 5 at night. Now to do the same job, I wouldn't be able to. Right now doing these little projects at home, I say to my wife, I says, if I'd be on a job, I'd be canned by now because I take so many breaks, because I'm not the same as what I used to be, but I'm still able to move forward, and that's good enough for me. You know what I mean? That's not like it just like life suddenly just stopped, and that, to be honest, would put me out to the pasture, because I've always been a pretty active guy and go. And this is all over a beautiful country that I've worked as, was not just working local and being home. I'd be all over the country from one end to the other.
Wow.
Yeah. But when you got diagnosed in the surgery, you were down for the count.
Oh, I was down for the count
until you started using the patches.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to let it be known that Luke started off bald.
Yeah, I didn't lose my
He hasn't lost there
He hasn't
anymore.
lost any-
I haven't lost any yet, no. But, yeah, that was gone already.
Oh my
In
goodness.
fact, I look at my face today. I had a 3-week beard on, and I shaved it off this morning. It's, oh, I do look different.
Nice.
So I have a question for you, Luke. Remember back when you were like, I don't know, Caroline, I don't know if those patches are doing anything for you. I don't know. I don't think so. Remember when you were that guy before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So imagine that guy is watching this right now. What advice would you have for that guy?
If that guy is watching me now,
What would you say to him?
Where the patches.
try it, then you'll see. And yeah, I am a very skeptical on scams, and especially today in society, there's nothing more in this world like your phone, email, blah blah. They're constantly scammers out there. But no, I'll truly say to people, if you're listening, try it. You'll find a big difference. Anxiety, nausea, stress,
Energy. Yeah.
energy. It's
Balance, everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Carolina, Luke, did it make it easier for you to listen to Heather about what she had to share because she was your friend? Did that make it easier to
No, I usually listen to people and make up my own mind. You know, like I've always been like that.
Yeah.
So when Heather wanted to put it on me, I kept saying no because I'm allergic to a lot of medications.
Yeah.
And she said, no medication in it. You know, like I suffer from different things, fibromyalgia, degenerative discs, and now I'm on chemo pills and all that. So I'm very iffy when it comes to putting something in me or on me, you know, but when she slapped it on me and I realized it worked, it was like, great. It gave me back my balance. You know, I was not hanging on to walls and chairs and everything, you know. Now I move around, I clean, I do everything. I'm outside helping him. So,
nice.
you know, they were
Wonderful.
very good.
And the reaction on Carol's face, I'll never forget that. The reaction on her face when she was standing beside her island and talking to me and her arms were going like this. I said, Carol, look at your arms. You weren't moving your arms because Carol had surgery and she was so sore. She couldn't move the one arm. And then she's looking at her arms and they're just going like this. Well, then she started to laugh. And right then Norm and Luke came in the house and Carol's going, Luke, look at my arms, look at my arms. And I don't know what he thought, but she was standing there waving her
I'm
arms.
just going like, oh my God, I can move again.
It was really cool. And the look on her face was unforgettable. It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell everybody. When I went to my radiologist, I brought the packages, I showed them to her. She wrote it down. She said she was going to do some research on it too. You know, and I told her they work. You should be giving this to your patients, you know, like that have dizziness and all that, you know. So she said, I'm going to look into this. I said, well, take it from me. They work. Like, I'm just telling everybody. I tell him, bring the packages to chemo, show the nurses, you know, like just show everybody they work. Yeah.
What happens, right? This is how, so if you're just watching this for the first time, maybe hearing about this for the first time, we collectively have helped over 7 million people in just 5 years.
Wow.
And it's for reasons just like you just said. Once you know, you're like, what? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's tell people. People need to know this, right? Like that's literally why every associate or practitioner is on board doing this with us as an independent distributor, because that everybody's like,
yeah,
try this.
Works.
It'll help you. It'll help you.
Gotta use it. It works. Like even my grandson, Heather gave him a pair of socks and a sleeve. He's autism. There's a big difference. Big difference.
He's quite calm and collective.
His tics are not there as often. He's so calm, like it's unbelievable. Yeah, so yeah, they work. Everything works. Yeah.
And just like, I mean, obviously we're not suggesting that this is a cure for anything. Like that's not
No.
at all what we're saying. It's not a
It
cure,
helps.
it's not
It
a
helps
treatment,
quite a bit.
but right? As Kevin said, it's a tool. Like it's a tool in your toolkit, and clearly it has a
Why
huge
wouldn't you
impact.
use it? Yeah, if it's going to help you, why wouldn't you use it? Try it and see, and you'll find out. You know, like
Caroline, you bring up a good point. Like when I was on a call prior to another individual, I said, you know your body. I says, you're going to do an experiment. Whether it's Western medicine, neurological technology, supplementation, hydration, exercise, whatever, we live in this experiment every day. And it's like, I want to be my best every day. I think most people would love to be whatever I could do, be my best kid. That would be great. And I said,
Yeah.
that's the fun part of this experiment is that, you know, I said, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I said, so we're going to start a journey and let's see how it goes. Does it change? Like, do you get on a different path now? And your story is like all the others that so many that we've met that, yeah, I'm on a different path. It's way better. I have, like when you shared, Luke, about where you were emotionally post-surgical going, I got a different outlook on life now. Well, that's a big part of major surgeries is that what comes after. And I got to work through. And all of a sudden, like the sun is out again going, but it's cloudy. No, the sun's out, man. Let me tell you, the sun's out because I know where I was and I know where I am at and I'm in a different place. And that to me is a really good litmus test, as I call it, with the people that we talk to. You know, do you like where you are?
Like, this is where depression and everything comes in,
right?
You know, because your life has changed so much.
They did a complete 360 and like I say, it's
not 360. That means you're back where you started for 180.
Yeah,
those French guys got to watch it. French guys like me, I get mixed up. 180. All right.
Yeah.
I'll use, pardon the French in me.
Kevin's French as well.
French in you.
Duguay told me that one already.
Yeah, I got that.
No, I'm just glad that I can be able to have somewhat of my life, because I would say to my wife, I says, that is it for me. I says, sure, I'm living, but that's basically it. And I'm not my old self, but I'm not far from it.
You know, now he's saying, look what I did. He's happy because he's able to do these things. You know?
Wow.
It's easier to live with.
No doubt. That's what I was getting. No offense, Luke, but that's what I was getting at. Before.
He was never home, you know, 3 days out of a month he'd be home because he's all over Canada. And now, since both of us got sick, we're together 24/7, you know.
Changed
so
there,
it's
right?
like, he's got to get out of the house. He's got to do something. You know? And that's what he's doing. These patches are allowing him to be able to work. You know, which is nice.
Quality of life. Because to be frank, literally nobody knows. Anybody could get hit by a bus tomorrow, right? Literally anybody could. So quality of life for every day that we're here is so important. It's so important.
It's very important. You know, like with my degenerated disc, they told me, because I wanted surgery, they said, no, we're not touching you. You have quality of life. Keep living it, you know. So that's what you do. You keep living.
That's what you do.
And if you patches help, that's great, you know, and they do help.
Now, so Luke, when you're telling other people about the patches, do you walk around saying my wife was right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, actually, I do.
That's a humble patch. We're working on that.
I do, but I was a non-believer and I'm a believer now.
Yeah,
that's the actual words that I use.
Yeah.
We've got this recording too.
Yeah, that's the first time ever.
Oh, you guys, this has been such a gift. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming to share your story. Heather, thank you for connecting us. You know, there's a thing called the butterfly effect and the ripple effect. And I think that I wish I could express to you what an impact this can make. You telling your story, I mean.
I hope so.
Yeah.
For other people, I hope so.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It will.
because it does work. They gotta
Yep.
try it. I tell everybody, my friends, everybody, try it. You'll see. You know, it's the only way you can explain it to them. Just try it.
You got nothing to lose,
Yeah, yeah,
but something to gain,
yeah,
quality of life.
yeah, yeah,
Love it.
yeah. I thank you very much for them. I thank Heather for bringing it to us.
See, and then if you're Heather, how do you ever stop helping people? Like we can't, we have to help people because this is like that kind of a reward for us to hear about your quality of life is like game changing.
Yeah.
It's really,
Yeah, it
it's such a,
Yeah.
it's such a gift. And we're just so grateful that you would take the time. These guys, just so you know, drove for almost an hour to get to Heather's because there's stronger Wi-Fi there so that they could participate in this, to share their story, to help other people. Like these are our people, right? These are the kind of people that you're our people. Like this is what we do. This is why Kevin and I do this all the time. We tell these stories, we bring these people together to share their experiences. And again, not because we think, you know, if you have this condition, it's going to do exactly this for you. That's not it. But we know it's a tool that's going to help you to be at your optimum, and whatever your body does with that, we shall see.
Yeah.
But we know you'll be better, right? Wherever you start, you'll be better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's not pharmaceutical. That's what I like. It's not.
You bring up
medication.
a good point, Caroline. I mean, this was a call I was on with the gentleman over in the United Kingdom. You know, he's on a lot of different medications. He goes, Kev, I'm feeling it. And I said, anything that can help me move in a better direction so that I am moving in my wellness journey, that I'm improving. That's great. And so it's a powerful, that's a very powerful component of what we have. Because people have, like you said, I don't like where I'm at, Kev. And if you can get me in a different path, I'll try it. Because again, it's perspective. It's where you are at. Are you, you know, I share this with the individuals. Are you happy with where you are at? No, I'm not, Kev. All right. You want to change? Yes. Okay, then you'll change. But if you don't want to change, that's okay. Then you stay where you are. Because you haven't changed. You know, an object at rest stays at rest. If nothing, is no force is acted upon it. So all of us, myself, Krista, Heather, yourselves, took an initiative. I took a step. And like you said, Luke, I got nothing to lose, man. I got everything to gain.
Worth that step. Yeah.
And that's
well worth that.
That's a winning mindset.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Félicitations, là. Very good.
Thank you so much, you guys. VoxxLife offers high-end quality products for people who understand that a healthy body needs a healthy brain. These products do not diagnose, treat, or cure anything. The results reported in this video are unique to these individuals.